Nice launch check and countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has
7,
started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed.
Good morning.
And Falcon 9 has landed.
Please play ads now, unlike yesterday.
Hello everyone and happy
All right.
Thursday. Thanks for tuning in to watch our next Starlink launch. Falcon 9 is set to deliver another 46 Starlink satellites to orbit from Vandenberg Space Force Base at Pad 4 East in California. Today's mission marks SpaceX's 26th launch of the year and
CRS-27
225th overall mission to date. My name is Zachary Lupin and I'm an avionics reliability engineer here at SpaceX. Now, for those of you following along, you'll know we stood down from our launch attempt yesterday to evaluate Falcon 9 recovery data. And since then, our engineers have scrubbed the data, and all systems are looking good for today's attempt, and we are now proceeding with a T0 time of 6:40 a.m. Pacific.
Discovery, go at
Now,
throttle up.
despite the foggy
Hey, man.
views on your screen around the rocket, weather is looking good, and the range is also ready to support. On the left side of your screen is the rocket, and on the right is a view of the California coast at Vandenberg.
Come to the coast.
Additionally, the teams
Get
are currently
together.
tracking
Have a
no
few
issues
laughs.
with the vehicle or spacecraft. Now, while it's a bit difficult to see on your screen, adjacent to our Falcon 9 rocket is the Transporter Erector, or TE, which has clamp arms
Daughters.
that are currently working to open up around the payload fairing on the vehicle. These clamp arms hold the rocket in place while we prep for launch. Once those clamp arms are open, the Transporter
Oh,
Erector
word,
will
man.
then
Nice.
move away from the rocket in preparation for launch.
Why can't we see anything? It's the marine layer. Hello from
And
Spain.
aside from holding the vehicle in place,
Hola.
the Transporter
Carizo,
Erector
¿cómo
is also
estás?
used for vehicle rollout
Buenos
and to route
tardes, amigo.
propellants and electrical power to the vehicle in preparation for launch.
Stage 1, lock flow complete.
At T-minus 3 minutes, the Falcon 9 first stage is fully loaded with RP-1 and LOX,
Amiga.
and we are
Oh,
currently
lo
awaiting
siento.
completion of LOX load on the second stage in about 50 seconds from now. Once that is complete,
Hey,
this
Robert,
will
what's up,
conclude
man?
propellant loading on the vehicle.
What is a marine layer? Basically, California atmospheric conditions make fog that kind of sits in between the valleys and the hills. And yeah, it just happens near the ocean. That's all. It's just fog near the ocean.
And those clouds are completely normal.
Hi, Zay.
During propellant loading, we vent cold gas that forms above the LOX
See.
tank surface, and what you see is the
Guys,
result of
yeah.
that cold gas coming into contact with the warmer California air and then condensing. So while we might not see it, we may
Guten
hear
Tag.
little hisses from
Freund
time to
der
time.
Raketenwissenschaft. Ja. Ja. Freund? Ah, ja. I deploy at 51 kilometers, John. Which is
And coming
like
up next
35
will be
miles.
the call out that second stage LOX loading is complete.
Does SpaceX have better cameras than this? Yeah, but the fog, guys. The fog is only like maybe 300 feet. It'll actually like come out of the fog. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Is this Texas? No, this is California. Hey, Ryan, what's going on?
The booster you see on your screen is flying for the 13th time
Stage
today.
2, lock flow complete.
And there's that call out that
Okay.
second stage LOX loading is complete. Falcon
I'm
9
good.
is now fully
Debbie, how
loaded
are
with
you?
1 million pounds of fuel and liquid oxygen. And as I mentioned earlier, the booster on your
It's
screen
Slick
is flying
4.
for its 13th
Alright.
time today, having previously supported 2 NASA crew missions, CRS-23, Sirius XM-8, XB, 2 transporter missions, Globalstar FM-15, Aero C-3, and 3 Starlink missions.
13th flight for this booster. Because they wrecked their Texas pad? No, that's for a different rocket. This is a Falcon 9 pad. There's 3 Falcon 9 pads. There's 2 at Cape Canaveral, and then there's 1 in Vandenberg. Soon to be 2 in Vandenberg.
LD is go for launch.
Launch director reports go.
And as you just heard,
Here's
the
the
launch
Marine
director
layer
has
from
given the
space.
final go to proceed for launch. So let's sit back and watch as Falcon 9 takes our 46 Starlink satellites into
Yep.
space.
T-minus 30 seconds.
That's a lot of Marine layer. 40 months and a Vandenfog launch. Right, mate? 15.
15 seconds.
Sound suppressors should turn on right about
T-minus 10,
now.
9, 8,
Not that you can
7,
tell.
6, 5, 4, 3,
We're Falcon. It's
2,
the stealth one,
1.
Falcon. Green flash.
engine full power, and lift off of Starlink 3.5.
Something is happening.
Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Look! Oh! Oh!
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
I told you. See, the fog is only really low to the ground, so it pops right out of it. Once you get out of the fog, it's a
At
nice
2 plus
day.
30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Vandenberg Space Launch Complex 4 East at 6:40 a.m. Pacific Time.
All right, everything looks good here. Yep, there's your marine layer right there. Gonna be in the 80s today in California. Nice, nice. Nah,
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
this one's gonna land judo.
And there's that call out that Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Missed the engine graphics.
Next up will be a call out for Max Q.
Max Q.
And there's that call out for Max
What about
Q.
Max B?
This is when the vehicle is experiencing the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere.
It's a drone ship landing. Guys, not RTLS.
Now we're about 1 minute away
back,
from
Jill.
a series of events: MECO, stage sep, SES-1, and fairing separation. MECO, or main engine cutoff, is where all 9 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage shut down. That's followed by stage separation, when the first and second stages separate from one another. That is then followed by SES-1, or second engine start 1, where we light the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage. And finally, we will have fairing separation when the 2 fairing halves separate and fall away from the second stage. So keep an eye out for all of these events, which are going to happen in pretty rapid succession.
Why would they truck a booster across country rather than using a new one? Because because you answered your own question, John. Falcon 9 can be moved by truck. It's not expensive to move it around. That's why Falcon 9 is really long and really skinny. So it could be transported on roads instead of by boat. Yeah, smart.
MECO. Stage separation confirmed.
And upper stage ignition.
I'm back ignition.
Perfect.
And there were those callouts for MECO, stage sep, and SES-1.
Yeah.
We should have
Yep,
fairing
yep.
separation here.
AJ, this is
Fairing
live, buddy.
separation
Fairing
confirmed.
separation confirmed.
And there's
This
that
is the
call out
Starlink
for fairing
3.5 mission.
separation.
This is the
Now, we will be
13th
attempting
flight
to
of that
recover
booster.
both fairing halves using our recovery vessel, NRC Quest, today.
Quest
Both of
is
the
gonna
fairing
recover
halves
the
flying on
fairings.
today's mission are flight
Both
proven.
vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
Are flight proven, with one half flying for the 6th time and the other flying for its 7th time.
Falcon 9's width is determined by the width of a horse's behind. That's correct. Yep. Nice shot. There's some solid nitrogen coming off the booster
Now,
over
on
there
the
on the
left side of your screen is the Falcon 9 first stage, and on the right side is the second stage. The Falcon 9 first stage will be making its way back down
The
to
fairings,
Earth,
Dev.
and the right side, the second stage, will be carrying our Starlink satellites
It's
into orbit.
It's a stiffener ring, Robert. It makes it so the nozzle isn't moving around inside of the inner stage during launch, and then what makes it come off? The vibrations
Now,
from the
currently,
motor
first
make it
stage
separate.
is on its way back to Earth towards our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. If successful, this will mark our 187th overall landing of an orbital-class rocket.
Yeah, it just prevents the nozzle from weeble wobbling around. That's a big nozzle, dude. The nozzle's probably the Merlin 1D vacuum, or the Merlin vacuum nozzle is probably about, I don't know.
On the right side of your
3
screen,
meters?
attached to the second stage, you can clearly see that MVAC engine.
Yeah, about 3
It'll be
meters tall.
continuing its
It's
burn
big.
for the next
Big
several
nozzle.
minutes, to get our Starlink satellites into orbit.
Nice, Hibbit. Except for that short one. Well, yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, today's Starlink mission marks SpaceX's 225th mission overall and 26th mission just this year.
Yeah, Dev, they've been reusing fairings for a good while now. The fairings have parachutes in them, and because they're so light, they can just fall right back down. Think about it like if you were on a tall building and you had a piece of paper, you let the piece of paper go. It'll just... It doesn't really need like a parachute or anything. The fairings are like that. Yeah, they just... I mean, the fairings do need a parachute, but their parachute is more like a parafoil. They actually steer to the recovery ship.
Well, we've got some
yeah,
phenomenal
it's pretty
views
freaking
of
cool,
our
dude.
Falcon 9 first stage on the left side of your screen and the second stage on the right. The
This-
first stage has reached its apogee and is now on its way back towards Earth, while the second stage
104 on
continues
the
to
apogee.
speed
Okay.
up as it goes around the Earth.
This is SpaceX's 26th mission for...
As a reminder, Starlink.
Both
2023.
vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
This is the 25th Falcon 9 mission.
As a reminder, Starlink is a satellite internet
Good morning,
constellation
Maverick.
designed
Gates.
and manufactured by SpaceX to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to people living in remote and rural locations around the globe.
Dude,
Coming up in the
SpaceX
next
is going
20 seconds
crazy,
or
man.
so, we
They're going
should
nuts.
see that
They're gonna
entry
try to
burn
do
start up
75
on the
launches
first
this
stage,
year,
which will be
which
on
is
the left side of your screen.
Damn impressive, man. Dude, Judo, they launch once a week. Dude, they launch once a week. Dude, there's a Falcon Heavy launch today at 7, well, it's like at 1 your time, dude. Yeah, we got a Falcon Heavy launching today. Freaking great. You take on the short nozzle. I hate it. I hate it, but I understand why it's there. But also, it looks very strange. Is it time for supersonic retro propulsion? Yeah, they're getting there, man. They're getting there. How many big nozzles they got left? They have enough.
The first stage used to launch our 46 Starlink satellites into space today is flying for its 13th time today, having supported
We did
2
drive
NASA
through
crew
Tulsa,
missions,
Thorin, yep.
CRS-23, Sirius XM-8 XP, 2 transporter missions, Global Star FM-15, Aero C3, and 3 Starlink missions.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
It is Alleviate. Hold on.
Both vehicles continue
Okay,
to follow
there we go, we
nominal
got signal.
trajectories.
They had a cut down second stage motor, Craylod, for the Transporter 7 mission. What happens to the transport stage after it deploys its satellites? The second stage, Eric, in this particular mission, it will
And while we
deorbit
didn't hear the call out, we did
and burn
have
up
a
in the
successful
atmosphere.
entry burn on
Stage
the
one
Falcon 9 first
transonic.
stage.
Okay, we didn't get a
And
supersonic
there's that
retro
call out that
propulsion
the first
camera,
stage
but
is transonic, which means it is traveling near
did
the
it.
speed of sound. Up next is going to be the
Stage 2
1.
FTS is saved.
Is going to be the stage 1 landing burn, which we'll see on the left side of your screen.
no problem, Thorn. It's all good. Good to know for when we do it again. Okay, landing burn.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Looks like the
Stage
stage
two,
has to go
terminal
through the
guidance.
marine layer too. Ready?
And there's confirmation that
It's
that
gonna
stage 1
it's gonna burn
landing
through the
has
clouds and the
started
drone
in
ship's gonna
preparation
come up
for
at the
our
last
land-
second.
For landing on our drone ship.
Oh!
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And there you saw on your
Oh,
screen, Falcon 9
shoot!
has successfully landed on our
Stage
drone
1
ship.
landing confirmed.
On our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, in the Pacific Ocean. This marks our 187th overall landing of an orbital class rocket,
Expected loss of signal, Vandenberg.
including Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions.
This is fine.
MVAX right down.
And if you heard those callouts, we also had successful SECO 1.
Yeah,
And
one
we're
of the
currently
engines
awaiting
burned.
Nominal orbit insertion.
And there's that callout for nominal orbital insertion.
Yeah, sometimes the
So
engines
with
burp.
confirmation of landing
That
and
happens.
good orbit from our second stage, that wraps up our coverage for today's Starlink launch. So be sure to check our social media.
All right, hold on. Yeah, she burped a little bit. So, okay, what happens here, guys, that believe it or not, and I'm not just running cover for SpaceX, that does happen. It's not what you want, but it does happen. Sometimes when you cut the taps off, basically when you shut the rocket engine off, you turn it off, right? It's like if you have a garden hose and you're watering plants and you shut off the hose, there's still residual water in the line, right? What Falcon 9 does do is it purges the engines out with inert gas. Usually it's probably helium, if I had to guess. And that basically forces all the residual out the bottom of the nozzle, and you're basically squirting rocket fuel out the bottom of the rocket nozzle. And if it finds something hot, it pops. That happens. It's not really what you want, but it does happen. Like, you could pretty much see right here. See, there's some residual propellant in there, and boom! Oh man, that's actually really cool. That's actually really neat. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's coming from the nozzle. Uh-oh. So, what's going on here is that is venting tank pressure right there. They bring the tanks down from flight pressure because you don't want to fatigue the metal too much, right? And when they vent the tanks, right, that's a vent line right there. There's another one up there. It sprays down on whatever's causing the flame here. And whatever... blowtorch. Dude, fire is coming from... So, see, that's the residual propellant. You could see it on the ground right there. So that actually didn't come from that. It looks like it came from the nozzles. I think one engine got green before the engine shut down. That's Raptor. No, green with this is not that. It's something different. I need to see where that fire is coming from. Yeah, see, there's your residual. That's the residual propellant. See it right there? Yeah, it looks like some of it just caught on fire. And then it venting its tanks made a nice blowtorch. That's awesome. Yeah. You see the residual propellant's just evaporating off right there. That's a little bit of liquid oxygen and kerosene right there. No, I think that's fine. It's okay. Yeah. Like I said, they burp. It happens. Rocket engines burp when you shut them off sometimes. They do that. Does the vent usually go straight down? No, the vent's always gone straight down, dad joke. Yeah, since like Falcon 9 1.0. Yep. This one seems a little bit lower. Yeah, the landing was a little bit rough, but nice bagel with locks, indeed. Landing was a little bit rough, but it's all right. Yeah. Yeah, woof. Dude, blowtorch. That's awesome. So it looks like they brought the tank down from flight pressure and they sprayed fuel on that liquid oxygen that's dripping out. And yeah, it's fuel and oxidizer. All you need is fuel, air, and spark. Yeah, Van, the rocket, dude, the exit velocity of a rocket motor is enough to make gas work like a sandblaster. Like Van, like if you're sandblasting a part, rocket engines do that with gas. Think about that for a second. That's what that rust mark is. It's from where the rocket literally sandblasted the paint off of the metal. Sandblasted. That's normal, Red Wagon. Yep. And then this is an acetylene torch, basically. Can it still be reused? I don't think this is anything out of the blue, Vin. Yeah, this happens. It does happen. Super heavy sandblasted concrete and blew it into pieces. And then it did also blast sand, Pandaman, so it technically is a sandblaster. We sure Falcon isn't a dragon in disguise? I don't know, man, maybe. So, God, what happened is you started getting your leaky propellants, and the winds must be just right, so when they vented the tanks, that's the fuel tank vent. So it vented out diesel fuel fumes. That's what that is, because that's the RP1 tank, right? So it basically sprayed diesel fumes on liquid oxygen next to a hot rocket engine. That happens. Yeah, dude, acetylene torch. Literally an acetylene torch. That's exactly what it did. It's actually pretty cool. Can that be dangerous to the rocket? No. No, they burp. I mean, sometimes you can get a detonation, but that's not a detonation. That's just the residual propellants hitting the vented fuel. It's all good. Will the FAA have much of an impact on his next launch? Falcon? No. No. You Falcons always vent down like that? Yep. Yeah, Van, they do. The windage was just right for this, to blow the gaseous oxygen right into the diesel fuel fumes. It's all good, man. Yep. Cool, though. I mean, also, something to take into account, the drone ship's rocking. And if the drone ship's rocking, don't bother knocking. No, seriously. The waters look to be relatively calm, but the surf is actually kind of high. See? All good. It always vents like that. Believe it or not, there's another vent up at the top for the LOX tank. Yeah, there's another vent down. Huh? Are they going to show the SAT deployment? For Starlink missions, they stopped doing it a long time ago, Orion. Muting for meeting. See you in a bit. Wait a minute. We missed something at the end there. Hold up.
Check our social media for confirmation of Starlink
Discovery,
deployment.
go at throttle up.
And if you're looking for some extra entertainment later this afternoon, be sure to tune in for Falcon Heavy's launch of the Viasat-3 Americas mission, set for a 7:29 p.m. Eastern Time launch from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Nice.
Tune in for Falcon Heavy's.
I just want to point out that that's literally that's a live shot. They just tuned into the 39A cameras. That is a live shot of Falcon Heavy right now. See
Launch
the clouds
of the
moving?
Viasat-3 Americas mission, set for a 7:29 p.m. Eastern Time launch from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll
see that Falcon Heavy booster? That one's been used 8 times. That one's been used 3. Brand new center core, brand new upper stage, brand new fairings. Falcon Heavy's still on for today. It should be in about 9 hours from now. It's 10 o'clock, 9, 7:30. Yeah, 9.5 hours. Is Heavy in RTLS? Heavy is nothing, caveman. Fully expendable. No grid fins, no landing legs. Hey, 10, what's up? Just a side question. Is there a chance that you'd provide closed captions on your streams? They would be useful for both the hearing impaired like me and for those not fluent in English. I think Twitch has closed caption function integrated for English language. Or if you prefer, there are Twitch plugins like Stream Closed Captioner. I don't know, man. Maybe. You have I have it on my to-do list to look into. Okay. Cool. It was great to see your content, my dude. Heading to Metallica in Amsterdam now. Master, master, master of puppets are pulling your strings. Ah! I don't want to get DMCA'd. Who's Metallica? Just Rick. Metallica isn't just in that show, right? It's Metallica, and who's opening for him? I forget, dude. No, yeah, Hokey, we got it under control. Like, yeah, drummer's looking into it, so. Why would they not recover the boosters? Am I mistaken in thinking they had in the past? It's a direct geostationary orbit insertion, Tipsy. The Delta V. Delta V.
Discovery, go at
This is
throttle up.
now, I want to be very clear. This is not geostationary transfer. It's a direct geo insertion, meaning the second stage burns on a geostationary transfer orbit, and then when it gets out to geo, it circularizes and then deploys the satellite. That's why it's expendable, because that you need a lot of Delta V to do that. Architects. Okay. What will it be transporting? Visat 3, and the Visat 3 is a geostationary communication satellite for Falcon. And it's a rideshare mission. It has the Arcturus 1 satellite, which is a telecommunications satellite built and operated by Astranus Space Technologies. And then there's G-Space 1, another satellite on it. It's a CubeSat that will be placed in geostationary orbit and will host several payloads, including Earth observation, scientific experiments, and bring into use services at KU, KA, and VQ frequency bands. One of the payloads, Nusantara H1A, is an Indonesian placeholder satellite that will temporarily use the frequencies of a geostationary orbital slot reserved for a delayed communications satellite, allowing Indonesia to retain the rights to those frequencies. Cool. So, it's basically a rideshare mission to Geo, which is actually really cool. No, a graveyard orbit. Man, they'll put it in a graveyard orbit. That's an orbit that's outside of geostationary. Yeah, they just dump the stages there. They vent them down and then dump them. And it runs out of batteries. They just leave it there. Why does the second stage look like double painting? That is a thermal protection system, believe it or not, to make sure that the RP-1 on board the second stage doesn't get cooked. Doesn't get too hot on the way out to Geo. It's going to take about 6 hours, so they put a thermal protection system on the second stage. That's what that band is. Yep. I believe they want to replace Falcon Heavy with Starship, so they're not worried about recovering Falcon Heavy either. They want to replace Falcon in general with Starship, dude. That's the plan, at least. That is going to take some time. That's going to take some time. Anyway, good questions.
Discovery, go at throttle
Hey,
up.
Phil. Haha, funny number. It's essentially about speed. Interesting. Seems a lot more effort for a relatively short time saving. Why are they doing direct or Geo than a more efficient method of getting to Geo? This is a direct, talking about direct to Geo. Yeah, it's a direct to Geo search. There's not really a more efficient way to do this before the second stage batteries run out. The whole point of this, dude, is to get it's an interesting question. The whole point of this is to use the second stage to circularize up at Geo so the satellites can have extra fuel, right? And because you're using Falcon Heavy, you already get a lot of extra oomph, right? So I mean, it's about a 6-hour coast from geostationary transfer to geostationary circularization. It is time constringent or time constrained, right? But it's more about having more performance for the satellites. If the stage is the one that's circularizing the satellite up there and not the satellite, then the satellite has more fuel and can last longer. It's not necessarily about speed, but that does have something to do with it. That's Marvin, man. So in Kerbal 2, Ben, you can attach lights to probe cores, and if you gizmo the probe core inside of like a capsule, when it shows IVA view, it'll show the probe core. So I put googly eyes on my probe core when we were doing uncrewed test flights for our capsule. That's Marvin. It's a Stay Putnik with 2 of the lights on it. Geo orbit is 37,819 kilometers that way. Yeah, Chad even did up these nice drawings. Marvin. It's pretty funny, man. Like in Kerbal, dude, you can like look inside while you're like flying the capsule. You can see inside and you can see the Kerbals like looking around and stuff. And it's really funny seeing the Kerbals like panicking, and Marvin's just like, all right. So yeah, that's Marvin. After 1.5 months of recruitment process, you just got your rejection email. 1.5 months of recruitment. Ugh. And they want the sat to be operational faster because I think the satellite's all electric propulsion. Yep. I love the job market at the moment. Dragon, if there was something I could do to help, you know I'd do it, man. Sorry, dude. But hey, look. Best I can tell you is that everything happens for a reason. Yeah, everything happens for a reason. If you didn't get chosen for this job, that means you were chosen for another one. High five. High five. They're too good for you. In fact, you walked in there and fired them. In fact, you walked in there and fired them. You went in there and say, look, listen, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. Don't hit your monitor. Please don't hit. Oh, did you break it? Did you break it? You didn't break it, did you? All right. It'll buff out. Yeah, just like Das's van. It'll buff out. It'll buff out. It's fine. It's fine. Seriously, though. I had a crisis this morning. Brimo broke the coffee machine. I'm not even kidding. And yes, I am throwing you under the bus, Bree. Yeah, sorry. Brimo broke the coffee machine, so we had to find another solution. That's the reason why I was a little bit, just in time for launch. But, your boy, this coffee machine replaced a coffee machine that worked. And guess who had the working coffee machine? This guy. Guess who solved that problem? This guy. But that means I didn't have time, ironically, to make my coffee. So I will be right back. 1 second. And I'm going to make my coffee. Master of puppets are pulling your strings. Twisting your mind and stretching your brains. What? Sorry, started today with a rocket launch. It's great. Is that not why you are here? Are you not into trains? Did I miss the launch? Which one? The power! Ride the lightning! That was the most metal coffee brewing experience I've ever experienced. Yep. Play Minecraft? But father, I don't want to do that. But I don't want to. You hear their new album? Flex Eterna is old school. All right. That was the Stranger Things song. Yes. Eddie Munson. Yep. Coffee machine requirement. Ninja hot and brew cold system. Play railroads? Guys, I kind of wanted to go over the Kerbal development update and the Kerbal dev AMA. With Miss Time Zoom herself. Or Mrs. Time Zoom. Shayna. She's the Time Zoom lady. The Minecraft has huge tracts of land. Lux Eterna. Sorry, typing sucks today. It's all good, man. I'll have what she's having, huh? My son is now a Metallica fan because of Stranger Things and Kate Bush. Hooch, it could be worse, man. I'm running up that hill! Running up that hill! It could be worse, man. Could be worse. Dude, it could be worse. So, if you like Master of Puppets, all you gotta do, this is an easy sell. This is an easy sell. You like Master of Puppets, you should listen to the whole Master of Puppets album. That's what Eddie would do. Also, Iron Maiden is music! Did I miss the launch? You've missed one launch. So, Starlink 3.5 did launch today. We just saw it. It was pretty good. Pretty decent. Falcon 9 had a little bit of a... Falcon 9 had a little too much Taco Bell last night on landing, but it was fine.